Today's video is going to be about two specific Velomobiles that are upright and unusually car-like. In fact, one of them can carry a passenger. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Pebl, and you can see it right here. The second one is the Leiba. The Leiba is more Velomobile-like. The Pebl is more of a miniature car that you can pedal. Let's look at the Pebl first. It's funny, there are these details I'm noticing, like there is this gas cap looking thing that's really the charging port. There is a rear view mirror that looks like a car. The whole thing looks very much like a car. Let's take a look at some of the mobility shots. The inside of it is more like a bike, really, and I'm not too crazy about having a handlebar. My preference would be definitely to have a steering wheel. There are extra options, including a solar panel on the roof. Overall, when you look at how it's put together, it really looks quite a bit like kind of a homemade looking thing. The way it's cut around, it really looks like somebody just built it in a garage, but for some reason they have been able to sell these for quite a number of years for a good deal of money. And I did not endorse the original Pebl. The original Pebl you can sort of see here. I liked the whole idea of it, but I just did not like the design. I thought the design was really awkward. Whereas now with the new model, I think a lot of that has been fixed. You have two lights, just like on a car. You have a wraparound windshield. Even the first version had a windshield wiper, which I think is so important. If you want to use this as an all-around everyday transportation tool, just like a car, you definitely want to have windshield wipers and maybe even a heater in the rear, and the lights are much more powerful than what you get with most Velomobiles. Most Velomobiles have really small, teeny tiny bicycle lights, which I think is wrong, and also the tires are tiny. They are very narrow and can be uncomfortable. This Velo has true fat tires. These are 3 or 4 inches in width, and then there is this interesting touch that even though the body of the Velo is protecting the passenger from any spray, there is a kind of a double shield here also on the front wheels, which I'm not sure I understand. I'm not sure entirely why they did this, but it's certainly very protective. So there's absolutely no question that you will not be covered in mud if you ride this thing. This is a close-up of the interior. You are pedaling like a regular bike, even though from the outside it looks like a miniaturized smart car. Really, this is what it looks like from the side. So this is the part that's kind of strange to me, and it looks like it might even have directional signals, which is quite amazing. Now, these start at $11,000 and they weigh at least 200 pounds. That's not the case with the Leiba, and I will get into that in details when we get to it. The seat is very simple. It's like a kind of a cheap little seat. See, the whole thing does have a kind of homemade quality to it, the way they cut it around. But something that's sensational about it is that even in the first version, they had bioplastic panels. So this body that you see here is plastic made out of soy oil, and I have long been advocating plastics, especially plastic wrappers and bags. Why do we have to make them out of petroleum when we can just use a vegetable oil as the base for the resin, and then it would disintegrate, say 2 years from now or 5 years from now? Why does a plastic bag have to last for 500,000 years? I just don't get that. Also, one thing I don't like is it seems to have a derailleur in the rear. I don't know if that's the case with all models. Well, let's just see. Yeah, it does look like it is a derailleur. See, I don't know if you can change that. I would definitely want to change it, because if they have put in so much weather protection, then why expose the drivetrain like this when you know it's far more difficult to maintain and just much more delicate and much more likely to be damaged? It is totally exposed to the element. It looks very much like a car. I mean, it's so much wider. Another thing I never liked about Velomobiles is that they are so narrow. This one seems to correct that problem. And also, of course, both of them are upright, but especially this one is. So it's totally tall. It's very easy to see from far away. You probably have almost the same height that you would get with a smart car or a mini car, maybe a little bit lower. And here's the night shot and more interior shot. I guess having a seat like this is really good on a hot day. You have a very lightweight seat with a nice cushion and a lot of air circulation on your back, but the interior just looks so bare bones and so much like a Velomobile rather than a car. So what you see on the outside is really more like a car, but once you get inside, it really is just a Velomobile, just like all the rest of them. Now check out the models. The base model is $11,000. This is even more expensive than the old one was, but still cheaper than an entry-level car. We are now getting a new Corolla or a Civic for $25,000 for the base model. No upgrades, and this thing can get onto the Greenway. It can get onto various passages on bridges and some tunnels, so you don't have to pay to get into town. And of course, operation costs practically nothing. It's very reliable because it's electric. This is the 50-mile range option. Here is for an extra $1,000. It's still the 50-mile range, but you are getting a solar roof and this ridiculous wood dash, which is kind of funny, cork handlebar grip. This is like configuring a luxury version of it. This is the solar panel. This is something you can get for a fraction of the extra $1,000 they are charging you. And here is a long range battery system. That is yet another more than $1,000, and it doubles your range. So basically an extra battery. For long range applications, I would much prefer to get a generator and connect it to the charging port. But then again, if this is the charging port, it's going to be difficult to connect. So the whole thing is not really set up for any kind of long range movement because it's not a serious hybrid. If I'm connecting a generator to a battery and try to charge as the battery is discharging energy, that's called a serious hybrid. And there was an American Chevy car back in the beginning of the electric car era years ago that was based on that, and I thought it was an excellent car, even though it was dorky looking and sort of never took off. I don't think it was ever even correctly promoted, to be honest, but that's what I would prefer for a long range option. Now here are some more details. They say that the power is 750 watts. In reality, it's a 1500 watt system, but it is restricted to 750, but they have some kind of an off-road switch, and then you get the full power. Now you get 20 miles per hour with 750 watts, which is actually quite impressive because it weighs 200 pounds. My bike weighs 45 pounds, and with 700 I could not push it past about 23-24 miles an hour. So the fact that it is aerodynamic really makes a difference. I mean, half-ass you can go with 1500 watts, but they claim you can do 20 miles an hour with only 750. Which is really impressive. With 1500s, you're probably not going to do twice as much. Maybe you can do 27 miles an hour. And if this is an easy access option so that you can just flip a switch, that's great. This is enough of legal protection for the company so that the government cannot sue them that they are making something too fast. I don't think there should be any speed limit on just pedal assist systems because they really cannot go any faster than they could go without the battery, except that you don't have to break a sweat. And you're borrowing the legs of a Tour de France winner. 48 volt, same system that I have. If you have an electric Brompton, for example, that's 36 volts. So 750 watts at 36 volts is not going to push you as well as it does with the 48 volt. Just keep that in mind. And it has a reverse. It has cruise control. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Turn signals, an electric horn. A cute little miniature car. It's really very likable thing. I mean, the whole idea, it's kind of expensive, but still costs way less than a smart car, and you could get it without having to register and insure it and all that circus. And it's totally enough to just get around town. For long range commuting, I would not use this. For that, I would use the other one, and I will go into that now. This is what the Leiba looks like. I'm going to put the link below to all of these videos. This was done by Velo Ads. Unfortunately, he's no longer active. His last video was published about 2 years ago. He made a lot of cool Velomobile videos, and I've been following the channel. Now notice that this system, this design does not have a windshield wiper, which should be kind of annoying, but there is a kind of a gap here, which is not big enough for the interior to flood in the event of a rain, but it eliminates fogging and it gives you a little bit of a dry glimpse because there are no water drops here. Still, I would I would very much enjoy having wipers outside, or at least one wiper. Now notice that unlike that pretty ugly setup with the Pebble, you have a low grip here. So you have excellent vision in the front. Now this is also narrower, more bullet-like, and so much more aerodynamic than the Pebble. On the other hand, it's not as wide, so it wouldn't be as stable around the corner. But it is kind of semi-upright. Not as upright as the Pebble, but not as low as most Velomobiles, including many things made by Leiba. So that's how you sit in there. And there's a bit of footage in this video that you should check out of him riding around in the rain. So you can see that without the wiper, it's not so easy to look outside, but you have this little gap that allows you to see something. It's much narrower than the Pebble. So on a downhill, I assume without any electric support, you could just glide down at 55, 60 miles an hour. This is the company's website. This is the way it looks. And instead of an external derailleur, even a roll-off is an option. It's a pretty tall Velomobile, a tall and short Velomobile. And here you see this is a roll-off. You see the two wires going in the back. I'd much rather have a roll-off here than some cheap derailleur, that's for sure. And that also means that you can really take advantage of the downhills and go real fast. Probably a lot faster than you could with the Pebble. The weight is only 70 pounds, about a third the weight of the Pebble. But it also means that it's easier to steal it. You can have a dual drive, which includes a derailleur. So whether you get a hub gear or derailleur depends upon the money you're paying and what kind of system you have ordered. Brakes, a mechanical drum brake. I'm not sure I like that. They do have an electric version. I would prefer to build mine, and I would build it the same way I built the Brompton. All the details are in the book if you are interested. It has some lighting, some horn and everything, but overall not as well equipped as the Pebble. But look at the price, $6,000. At this point, I know people who paid $6,000 for their Brompton bike, and look at how much you are getting with the electric. Is an extra $2,000, which is actually much more than a quality electric kit would from Green, for example, would cost. So I would definitely prefer to build it on my own, and what they put in is very likely to be speed limited. It's not an open system. So Pebble is great, at least in the sense that they allow you to use the maximum of whatever 1500 watts is capable of. So I do prefer the Pebble in that sense, but it's a lot more money. I mean, $6,000 as opposed to $11,000. You could almost buy two Leibas for the cost of one Pebble. There is the Leiba Classic L, which is a long version of the same thing for two people or a ton of cargo place. You could use this as a shopping bike in your neighborhood. I mean, this would be a great all-around suburban runabout. You could use it to shop, and it is much, much more precisely put together than the Pebble. Not surprising, because this is handmade in Germany, and German labor is often very precise. So that's a good side of it. You can see that this is a low grip, so it gives you better opportunity to exercise and a much better vision looking out in the front. But it's very narrow, and when you look at the long version, it's even narrower. Lighting is limited compared to the Pebble. You only have this teeny tiny thing in the center. That is the part about most Velomobiles that I really don't fancy. And the seat, I actually preferred the one in the Pebble because I have some aeration on my back should I sweat, although I probably would not sweat. If anything, you might make more of an effort in the Leiba than in the Pebble. So this one should have the ventilated back, and the Pebble should have the solid back, but it is backward. I'm sure you can buy some kind of a padded add-on. That's the whole idea here. long and narrow, but pretty high up. So both of these are fairly visible in traffic, which I think is important if you are going to be using them in town. In fact, if you want a local runabout, then the upright Velomobile is clearly the thing to get. Nicely made. Unfortunately, this is all synthetic stuff. Now this is a true center drive, which means climbing should be really good. But look, only 36 volts and only 250 watts. And they charge an extra $2,000 for it? No way, never. I would put in my own electric wheel or even a center drive for about half the price and getting a lot better performance. Let's look at the price of this thing, because this is more money. Not that much more, but instead of $6,000, you pay an extra $2,000. So $8,000. And for a roll of 1100 extra, which is actually very cheap. This seems to be the wholesale price of a roll-off. So definitely get it from them rather than installing it, but install your own electric kit. I have the details in the book as to how to do it. Which one would I choose? If I had the money, I guess I would choose the Pebl for in-town stuff. But if I wanted to be in town and also wanted to do long range rides a lot, then I would go with the Leiba. Just because I could do really fast downhills on it, and I could use it for exercise as well. They are both amazing ideas and systems. I mean, this is stuff that we don't see a lot of. I have seen a few Velomobiles, not many in New York. They are not popular yet. There is a very slow growth on the US market. It's more of a European, especially northern and central European thing, but it is catching on in the US very slowly. And this is like the Pebl is an actual one-person car replacement. No question about it. It even looks like it. It really is kind of cute.
I'll be back.